Sometime later, deep in a dark forest, the wagon comes to a stop. Gams sits guard, exhausted but vigilant, while Rhodys tries to compose himself. Inside, Kem prays for the souls they lost, while Layla strokes the hair of a sleeping Carol. The young girl stirs, her eyes fluttering open. Say, Mama. Can we not return home anymore? Layla's heart breaks, but she forces a gentle smile. Yes, however, surely. There will be many new experiences awaiting us elsewhere. Carol looks up, a flicker of hope in her eyes. Really? Of course, Layla insists. She looks to the heavens, her faith unshaken. I have no doubt that we survived because of God's divine protection. The God of fate is guiding us. And with that, the memory fades, snapping us back to the present day. A doorbell rings in a quiet, modern suburb. A delivery person speaks into the intercom. You have a parcel. The door opens. Please sign or stamp here, the delivery person says, handing a box and a form to Yoshi. As Yoshi takes the pen, his eyes fall on the sender's address. It's from a place in Hokkaido called the Village of Fate. In the world of the game, the warrior Gams is training Rhodys. He watches a clumsy spear thrust and yells, no, that kind of thrust wouldn't even scathe a monster. Rhodys tries again, putting all his strength into it as Gams barks, yes. But even with the encouragement, Rhodys is sweating, clearly struggling. Gams watches with a critical, unimpressed eye. From his desk in the real world, Yoshi watches the scene play out on his monitor. The training ends with Rhodys on his hands and knees, completely out of breath. Gams looks down at him, his judgment delivered bluntly. Rhodys-san, I think you aren't cut out for battle after all. Leave the front lines to me and Mula-san. He tells the defeated Rhodys, please assist us from behind when the day comes. Rhodys looks down, ashamed. It seems I did not know my place. I thought every bit of strength would help, but I apologize that you had to spare time for me. As Yoshi watches, he thinks to himself, Gams is pretty strict, isn't he? Later, the villagers gather for a meal. Rhodys is still quiet and dejected from his earlier failure. Layla turns to Gams with a request. Say, Gams, we're short on fruit right now, so if you find some during your patrols, could you harvest them for us? Gams agrees easily. Hearing this, little Carol's eyes light up. Ah, in that case Carol will join you and help. Rhodys immediately looks alarmed. Carol pouts, I haven't been able to go outside at all since we came to this cave. Rhodys stands up, his voice filled with worry. I already told you before. When that day approaches, the monsters grow violent and it becomes much more dangerous than usual outside. But Carol isn't listening, beaming with excitement. I'll be fine with Big Brother Gams. Rhodys tries to protest, but Carol. She cuts him off, dreaming of her adventure. I'll harvest a ton of tasty fruit. That's the last straw for Rhodys. He slams his fist on the table, shouting, no. Losing his composure entirely, he screams, it is dangerous outside. Listen to what Papa says. The sudden outburst shocks everyone at the table into silence. Gams and the others can only watch, stunned. The meal is forgotten. Carol stares at her father, her excitement instantly gone. Her face crumples as tears well up in her eyes. Layla tries to calm her husband down, whispering, dear. Carol pushes her plate away, her day ruined. She jumps up from her seat, crying and screaming directly at Rhodys, I hate you, Papa. Before anyone can stop her, she runs away from the table. Layla calls after her, Carol. Rhodys reaches out, but it's too late. He clutches his head, overwhelmed by stress and regret. Back in his room, Yoshi sighs, watching the family drama. Rhodys, you're being driven up the wall pretty hard, aren't you? But that wouldn't be a fundamental solution to the problem, he thinks. Right now, all I can do is try to give the villagers courage through a prophecy. As a result of their tributes, my fate points have been building up fairly nicely, so he checks his total, 214 points. He considers using a miracle, like summoning a group of hunters to stay for 3 days. But he quickly dismisses the idea. No matter how much you boost your ranks, if the hunters turn out to be savages who would harm the villagers, we'd lose everything. If this were an ordinary game, I'd be fretting over something not worth fretting over. In the end, the ideal miracle for this situation is to summon a golem. I'll be able to control the golem and it wouldn't be harmful to the villagers. Even if something unforeseen occurs, I can adapt to deal with it. He leans back, frustrated. The problem is, I don't think I'll get the 700 points required over the next 10 days. He starts brainstorming, could I plead my parents to lend me money? He immediately shuts that down. If I were to borrow money because I wanted to spend it in a game, I'll get kicked out of the house. Borrowing it from my younger sister, that's even more impossible. He glances at the pile of virtual tributes. What about selling these? Tilda, could I even sell them? They're pretty dubious, and there's no certainty I'd be able to cash out within 10 days either. He slumps over his desk in defeat. Sigh, I guess this is a stalemate. But then a new thought cuts through his despair. No, there is a way. He sits up straight. He quickly opens his laptop. With a decisive click, he types into the search bar, part-time job openings. Yes, it's the simplest solution for people, he thinks, but a wave of anxiety hits him. But I've never worked before. His mind flashes back to a failed interview during university. I was too nervous to speak properly and quickly blew it. He remembers the feeling of failure. Now that I think about it, that wasn't the only reason. A strange sense of pride was affecting me, and I only wanted positions with high hourly wages and good perks. I should have learned my lesson, but when I started looking for full-time work, I made the same mistake again. I applied to a corporation targeting graduates from first-class universities, and the result was obvious. My father couldn't turn a blind eye to it anymore, so he used his connections to refer me to several companies. And yet, I did something that brought disgrace to my father. Somewhere in my heart, I had this naive thought that if I failed the interview, it would give me a reason not to work anymore. He sits in his messy room 10 years later. I have considered working many times. I don't mind if it's part-time. I figured I'll give it a shot. But I'm scared. I know I'm pathetic and old enough to know better. I'm just spoiled with everything and scared. He remembers the feeling of rejection, of putting in effort and getting denied. The imagined faces of his disappointed family flash in his mind. I don't want anyone to be disappointed in me anymore. He stares at the job listings on his screen. However, if I don't work now, people would make fun of me for this, wouldn't they? To think that my motive for trying to get a job would be for a game. He clutches his shirt, a desperate look on his face. I feel like chances are, I'll never change for the rest of my life like this. If I can't help the villagers this way, I'd be putting the cart before the horse. It'd be nice if there was a job that ends by this month and lets me earn what I need, but... He considers physical labor but doubts himself. Could I even work at places like those that rely on strength? He thinks about retail. Short-term employment at convenience stores take months, and since I've never normally spoken with people outside of my family, dealing with customers is an insanely high hurdle. He sighs, looking back at his monitor. So the side effect of doing nothing up until now is even for something like this. On the screen, Rhodys is trying to approach Carol. He tries to apologize, Carol, about what happened earlier, But she just turns her back to him, giving him the silent treatment. Layla gently pulls Rhodys back. Let's just leave her be for now. Watching their pain, Yoshi's own anxieties fade away. His hand tightens into a fist. He stands up, filled with a new resolve. Just you wait, I will be of help to everyone. If you want to find a part-time job without using the internet, it would probably be through the job listings inside of free magazines. He grabs his jacket and runs out of the house, hopping on his bike and pedaling furiously. Move, 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 don't think, don't worry. Sometime later he returns home. His mother sees him enter, surprised. Oh my, you went out. She notices the plastic bag in his hand. He places the bag, containing a City Work magazine, on the floor. His mother smiles warmly, if a bit confused. Welcome home, Tilda. The magazine holds his new purpose. Back in his room, without a moment's rest, he spreads the magazine on his desk. He immediately begins circling potential job listings with a pen. He grabs a resume form, ready to finally take action. Just then his door opens. It's his mother, food's ready, Tilda. Yoshi joins his family at the dinner table, a silent determination burning within him. At home, Sayuki is met with a lukewarm greeting from her brother, Yoshi. So you're back. Confused by the atmosphere, she turns to her father. What, was I not supposed to be? Yoshi quickly corrects himself. Welcome home, great going at work, but their mother bluntly answers Sayuki's question. No. Taken aback, Sayuki awkwardly announces her arrival. Yes, I'm home. The family sits down for dinner, but the tension is thick, and the meal is unusually fancy. Sayuki eyes the extravagant spread suspiciously. Say, mother, did something nice happen? This meal's way better than usual. Her mother beams, dropping a bombshell. It seems Yashio's interested in getting a job now. The news makes Yoshi choke on his food. Sayuki smirks at her brother. So you finally have the motivation then. Yoshi avoids eye contact, mumbling his excuse. I'm just in need of a little cash. It's only a part-time job to start though. To everyone's surprise, their father speaks up with unexpected support. The motive isn't important, it's a good thing that you're motivated now. Yoshi flinches, not used to this kind of encouragement. His father continues, considering my personality, I thought you'd only accept full-time work, but... Sayuki decides to tease him. Big brother, you've changed, could it be? Did you get a girlfriend? Their mother immediately shuts it down. No way, Yashio isn't that popular, is he? But then a sly smile creeps across the mother's face as she realizes, wait, did she just call him big brother? Sayuki presses on, connecting the dots. Is this related to that village that's been sending us all those goods lately? Yoshi breaks out in a cold sweat thinking, she's sharp. He scrambles for a half-truth. Well, I'm helping them revitalize their village and it feels wrong to just keep taking things. I want to give something back. He adds internally, I haven't lied, yet. Now Sayuki is completely lost. Village revitalization, I'm the only one out of the loop, but her mother waves her off. Manners, we'll talk after we eat. Later that evening, Yoshi sits alone on the veranda, lost in thought. He hears footsteps behind him. It's his father who gets straight to the point. Have you found a job yet? Yoshi turns, looking serious. I've found 3 potential places. I'm going to call them tomorrow. A quiet moment passes between them. His father clarifies, you said it's just short-term, right? Yoshi nods. Yeah, I have some business in the village at the end of the month, so I can only work until then. His father seems surprised by his son's proactivity. From today, huh? He points out the sudden change. You used to always put things off until tomorrow. Yoshi thinks to himself, I know, right, even I'm surprised. Any other requirements? His father asks. Yoshi explains, I plan to give it my all, but I'm not great with customer service. I'm looking for physical labor. He quickly adds, flustered, not that I'm looking down on it, it just fits my situation right now. His father's gaze is intense and calculating. I understand, I see. He then makes an unexpected offer. If you're truly motivated, I'll ask a friend of mine to help. He speaks with a rare gentleness. No matter how old you are, I'm still your father. It's not embarrassing for a child to get help. This isn't about being spoiled, Yashio. Yoshi is stunned into silence. He hesitates, his old fears resurfacing. I'm grateful, but if I rely on him now, won't I just throw this chance away like all the others? But his father's next words cut through his doubt. If you want to accomplish something, you use every tool you have, even your family. That's what it means to be an adult. The determination in his father's eyes is unwavering. And in that moment, something clicks for Yoshi. He suddenly sees a reflection of his in-game friend, Rhodys, in his own father. He remembers how Rhodys would always encourage the fiercely independent Carol to lean on him for support. Looking at his dad, he understands. He's not judging me, he's trying to convince me to rely on him for help. He thinks back on all the times he might have misunderstood his father's intentions. Perhaps all this time, his father was just waiting for him to ask. With newfound resolve, Yoshi makes his decision. He bows his head to the floor. In that case, please. A flicker of relief crosses his father's face. Wasting no time, his father pulls out his phone and starts dialing. Give me a moment. Yoshi watches, the reality of the situation sinking in. As his father speaks into the phone, a tremor runs through Yoshi's hand. I wasn't even sure about this, but now I'm trembling, there's no way out. His father turns back to him, still on the call. Yashio, can you get changed into something you can work in? Yoshi stammers, sure, I have a tracksuit, but I haven't even written my resume. His father dismisses his concerns. It's fine, he's a friend, get changed and be down here in 30 minutes. In the bathroom, Yoshi begins to shave, symbolically scraping away his old self. He gets ready, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Staring at his clean-shaven reflection, his eyes are filled with pure anxiety. Now in his tracksuit, he stands frozen in front of the mirror. As he zips up the jacket, the familiar voice of doubt whispers in his mind. Starting now, I'm really going to work, huh? The fear of failure paralyses him. I'm just going to disappoint him again, aren't I? He clenches his fists, furious at his own weakness. Is this all the resolve I had? I'm already hesitating. Desperate for a sliver of courage, he turns to the one place he knows he can find it, his computer. He sits down, logging into the game that has become his entire world. On screen, the character Rhodys is mired in his own moment of doubt. Sigh, what am I even doing? But Rhodys quickly shakes it off, slamming the table with renewed purpose. This won't do. He immediately seeks out Layla. Layla, I'm free, is there anything I can help with? Layla considers his offer. She tells him, actually, I think Carol has already taken care of everything for today. Rhodys is shocked. Layla explains how Carol has been taking the initiative to help with chores around the village. She smiles warmly. In her own way, that girl is trying her best to help everyone. The words hit Rhodys hard. Layla muses, kids really do grow up fast, don't they? When she turns back, Rhodys is already gone. He's rushed to the stables, calling out to his daughter, Carol. She turns, surprised to see him, Papa. Before she can speak, Rhodys bows his head. Papa, I'm sorry. Carol is completely confused. She tries to explain what she's learned from the others. Well, everyone has been telling me that Papa treasures me more than anything in the world. And you only got angry because you wanted to protect me. The other villagers watch the tender moment unfold. Rhodys is overcome with emotion. Carol promises, I won't ask to go outside anymore. But Rhodys gently stops her, no. He takes full responsibility. It was Papa who was wrong. I was so afraid of the evil god's temptation that I forgot what was truly important. His voice booms with conviction as he looks out at their new home. We came to this new land with our friends. And we made the decision to live here together. His words echo in Yoshi's room, striking a deep chord within him. We cannot stay in fear forever and seclude ourselves. Rhodys kneels before his daughter, his voice full of pride. Carol is a splendid member of our village. Papa trusts you. You can do whatever you wish. With tears in her eyes, Carol gives him a brilliant, happy smile. Okay. The villagers applaud, moved by the father-daughter reconciliation. Back in the real world, Yoshi trembles, not with fear, but with a powerful surge of inspiration. With a sharp crack, he slaps his own cheeks, forcing the doubt out. The sting clears his mind. A determined, genuine grin spreads across his face. "Thank you," he whispers to the screen. "I have the courage now." He stands, turning to his monitor one last time. He says goodbye to his virtual family. "All right, everyone, I'll be back." With a decisive click, the screen goes black. In the silent game world, Rhodey lifts a joyous carol into the air, a perfect image of the community and courage he's leaving behind to face his own reality. Driving through the city late at night, Yoshi sits in the passenger seat, his mind racing with questions about his destination. The job I'm headed to right now, what kind of work does it entail? His father, focused on the road, explains the situation. Cleaning duty. It seems there's a lack of cleaning staff for the night shift at his supermarket. One of his part-timers quit recently. Yoshi listens with a stoic expression as his father finishes, so he is thrilled that you fit right in. As the car continues on, Yoshi quietly mulls over the news. Cleaning duty, huh? Will it be suitable for me? They finally pull into the parking lot of a large, modern-looking supermarket, the building quiet under the night sky. As Yoshi and his father step out of the car, a man with a beard and a friendly smile waves them over. "Hey, so you've arrived." The man, clearly the manager, greets them warmly. "I'm glad you're here, you're a lifesaver." He then gives Yoshi an enthusiastic pat on the chest, getting a bit too close for comfort. "You've got quite a nice body, don't you?" Yoshi flinches, stammering. I hope we can get along well." While his mind screams, "What was that? I almost backed away like a kid." Watching his father walk back towards the car, Yoshi is hit with a sudden realization. "I'm the one who's working from here on out. You're leaving already." The moment happens in a flash. His father simply states, "So with that said, I'll leave the rest to you." The manager agrees, but Yoshi can only let out a stunned, "Eh." A wave of panic washes over Yoshi's face as he realizes he's been left alone. He instinctively clenches his hand, trying to ground himself in the awkward situation. Sensing his anxiety, the manager leads him towards the entrance. "No need to be so nervous," he says reassuringly. "You just need to do what you're told. If there's anything you can't do or don't understand, either ask me or the two employees over there for help." Inside the empty supermarket, the manager calls out to his other two night shift workers. You two have a new coworker, don't bully him or give him any weird ideas." A woman with reddish-brown hair and a friendly smile turns from her floor polisher. "There's no way we would, you're just here for a short while, right? Nice to meet you." Her blonde male coworker leans on his mop with a sly grin. "Oh, you're pretty tall, aren't cha? With you being that tall, cleaning the fluorescent lamps and so on should be easy." Yoshi quietly observes his new, outgoing colleagues, thinking to himself, "Unlike me, these two seem to have excellent social skills, huh?" He takes a moment to steel his resolve, clenching his fist. "I am just a typical newbie here. I am going to throw away my worthless pride and accept that I will be incompetent. I am going to do my best modestly." With a determined, if slightly nervous, expression, Yoshi prepares to introduce himself properly. He then bows deeply to the manager and his two new coworkers, declaring, "I hope we all get along well." After his first real day of work in years, Yoshi's shift finally comes to an end. Outside, one of his coworkers takes a smoke break. "You can check in tomorrow as well, right?" Yoshi nods. "Yes, that is not an issue." The night is quiet as they wrap things up. The bearded manager confirms the schedule. "Well, I guess it's technically yesterday now, huh? It'll be a late night shift tomorrow as well, so I'll come pick you up at 8 p.m. From the van, his other coworkers wave him off. "Great work, see you tomorrow, let's get along tomorrow as well." Yoshi watches as the van's headlights disappear down the street, the sound of its engine rumbling in the darkness. A small, genuine smile forms on his face. For the first time in a long time, he feels a sense of accomplishment. Arriving home, he quietly lets himself in. "I'm home," he whispers, thinking to himself. "There's no way anyone would be awake at this hour, though." As he takes off his shoes, he reflects on the day. "Everyone treated me kindly and cordially today, so I managed to calm my nerves and fulfill all of my duties." He remembers the main task he was given, operating a massive industrial vacuum to suck up dirty, foaming water. "I wonder how many years it has been since I last pushed my body like this." He also had to move equipment and wash the cleaning tools. "I think the manager got the wrong impression," he muses, "and entrusted me with the most comfortable work." Exhausted but satisfied, he heads inside. I want to take a bath as soon as possible, but before that, I'm thirsty." He walks into the kitchen and stops, noticing something left for him on the table. It's a plate of food covered in plastic wrap with a small note tucked beside it. Great work, you must be hungry, right?" He can almost hear his mother's voice, a warm vision of her appearing in his mind. "You must be hungry, right? Go ahead and eat up." Yoshi sits down, unwraps the food, and prepares to eat. He takes a large, hungry bite. A single thought fills his mind: yummy. The simple meal tastes incredible. So meals you eat after a day of hard work, he thinks with tears in his eyes, actually tasted this good then. He finishes the plate and puts his hands together in gratitude. Thanks for the meal. As he pulls off his tracksuit top ready for a bath, a question pops into his head. What was I so afraid of when it came to working? He slides open the bathroom door and freezes, surprised by what he sees. The bathroom is warm, he realizes, stepping into the steam-filled room. There is hot water prepared, and the tub is clean. A wave of warmth washes over him, and it's not just from the steam. Mom must have taken me into consideration, cleaned up the bath, and had it reserved for me. Sinking into the hot water, Yoshi lets out a relaxed sigh. Thank you, Mom. Later that night, the clock on the wall reads 3:15 a.m. Despite the hour, Yoshi sits down at his computer. I guess I should check and see how the villagers are doing. He boots up the game, the screen glowing in the dark room. In the village of Fate, all is quiet under the moonlight. The settlement is peaceful, with not a soul in sight. He checks in on each of his villagers, finding Kem and Gam sound asleep. Rhodey's, Layla, and little Carol are also resting peacefully. Well, he thinks, seeing the last of them, it seems everyone's asleep. A fond smile spreads across his face. The reason why I could persist until the end today was because of all you villagers. He thinks of their tireless efforts day in and day out. Watching you all work so hard, I naturally managed to put in my all. Feeling his own exhaustion, he shuts down the computer. I suppose I'll get some shut-eye too. He climbs into bed, whispering to the screen, sweet dreams, everyone. The night passes. But as morning dawns, a pained cry echoes from the house. Yoshi is writhing in his bed, every muscle screaming in protest. Ghhhh, this is definitely muscle pain. He struggles just to get to his feet. My ass is particularly bad. Just then, his mother opens the door. Looks like you're awake. Wincing with every step, Yoshi makes his way downstairs. And I have work today too, will I be all right like this? In the kitchen, his mom offers to help. I'll heat you up lunch, so just give me a moment. But Yoshi insists, no need, I can handle that myself. He heats up the food himself, trying to act normal. They sit down together and his mom asks the inevitable question, how was work? Putting on a brave face, Yoshi lies through his teeth. Everyone was nice to me and the work was a breeze. I have to go to work at the same time tonight as well. His mother beams with pride. Oh my, is that so? You're really giving it your all, aren't you? She then asks, how was yesterday's dinner? It was delicious, Yoshi replies, adding, thanks for going out of your way to make it. His mom just chuckles, foo-foo, you've turned incredibly obedient, haven't you? Yoshi just continues eating, a slight blush on his cheeks. After finishing, he clears his plate. Thank you for the meal. His mom suddenly remembers something. Ah, that reminds me, you got another parcel from the village of Fate again. She hands him a small white box. Yoshi takes the package and heads to his room. The size of this parcel must mean it came from Carol then. At his desk, he carefully begins to open it. Inside is a lumpy, round object. He smiles warmly. Haha, she put in all her effort to choose this, didn't she? He thinks about the game's tribute system. The villagers are convinced that they can only pay tribute to me once per day, but the truth is actually different. In reality, they can send up to 2 tributes per day. But there's a catch, and her name is Carol. Every day, the little girl mimics the adults she sees praying at the idol. And every day, she leaves her own special offering. Because Carol sends me things arbitrarily, Yoshi explains to himself, the number of times the villagers can pay tribute effectively becomes 1. Her gift started simple, misshapen stones from the riverside. But lately, she's been trying to carve wooden figures, just like the big statue of the god of fate. Small white flowers and even shiny Doridango dirt balls. Her carving skills are slowly improving. Quantity is leading to quality, so I'm actually quite looking forward to what she makes. Though watching her carve with a knife in hand still keeps me in suspense. On his screen, he sees the moment Carol finished her latest masterpiece, shouting, "It's done." Yoshi smiles. It seems she made something new today as well. In the game, Carol rushes to find Mulus, who is busy writing. Hey Mulus-san, hey, she calls out, trying to get his attention. Mulus looks up, surprised to see the little girl beside him. What is the matter, he asks kindly, as Carol presents her creation. She holds up the wooden figure. What do you see? Mulus examines the crudely carved piece of wood. He looks from the carving to the actual stone idol of their god. And back again, his eyes welling up with emotion at her earnest effort. That is the god of fate, correct? Carol asks eagerly. Mulus beams, yep, correct. Back in the real world, Yoshi gets up to add the new gift to his collection. He carefully places the round dirt ball on a small cloth, and there we go. It sits proudly next to her wooden carvings. These may seem like worthless trinkets to others, but, for Carol and me, these are treasures. He can't help but smile at the thought. Leaning back in his chair, he considers the reality of it all. Well, these were sent to me from a game world, so I'm not sure if they are actually just being handmade by some employees at the game company. But I clearly know that's impossible. He chooses to believe. Even so, there is a guy here who wants to be deluded that these tributes were actually sent by Carol, no matter how ridiculous it might look to others. The day's exhaustion finally catches up to him as he lets out a huge yawn. He gets into bed, his muscles still aching. Let's just get some sleep, it'd be great if this muscle pain heals a bit. As he drifts off, he's filled with a newfound sense of purpose. I never fathomed Mom would be so happy just to see me working. Plus, I'm thankful that I can make money by being helpful to others. At Yoshi's new part-time job, his manager calls out to him. While Yoshi is vacuuming the supermarket floor, his manager praises him. "Oh, you've gotten the hang of this, haven't cha?" Yoshi shyly replies. Perhaps. The manager insists it's true, and there's no need to be so tense. Nonetheless, there's no way you'd get used to things in just 2 days now, is there? The manager then points to their blonde coworker diligently mopping the floor. "My staff are all good people, you see," he tells Yoshi. "He may seem pretentious, but he's actually a pretty hard worker, you know." The blonde coworker continues his work with a serious, focused expression. Yoshi watches him, taking in the manager's words. He thinks to himself, pretentious was the first impression I had of him too. However, he is serious when he works and he does his job quickly and skillfully. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. With his arms crossed, the manager gives Yoshi some final advice. What matters most on the job is being diligent. With that in mind, you are an excellent worker. That is the most crucial factor. Yoshi beams, "Thank you very much." He feels a genuine sense of happiness from the praise, even if the manager was just being considerate to the new guy. Suddenly, their female coworker calls out from across the store, "Manager, stop goofing around with the newcomer and please get to work." She and the blonde coworker approach. The blonde guy smirks, "Well, aren't you lively, how nice." The woman continues her rant, "Manager, if you're going to slack off, increase our wages and reduce yours." The blonde coworker then turns to Yoshi, adding, "And Yoshio-kun, try not to get too enthusiastic about this." Yoshi tries to intervene, but the manager just stammers, "Alright, sorry." But then he spins around, pointing a finger indignantly, "I'm the one who decides your wages." The friendly banter makes everyone laugh, creating a warm atmosphere. Watching them, Yoshi smiles. He thinks, "This workplace, I'll probably be able to put in my all here. I'm glad this was the first place I worked at." Later that day, after his shift ends, Yoshi waves goodbye to his coworkers as their van drives off. "Great work everyone, great work tilde." Back at home, his thoughts turn to his other life. There is close to another week until the evil god's temptation. I'll have to motivate myself for the sake of the villagers as well. He settles in at his desk, ready to log into the game. Looking at the screen, he thinks, I've been getting less time to look at the game, so I'll definitely need to check the day's conversation log. With a click of the mouse, he pulls up the chat history. The log opens to a scene in the village compound, where Carol and Kem are with Gams. Kem is kneeling beside Gams, asking gently, "Big brother, are you not tired?" She suggests, "Why not take a short break?" But before Gams can answer, little Carol pops up, full of energy. "It's nice and warm out today and it feels super pleasant. Big brother GAMS, let's take a nap together." Kem gets annoyed. Please do not interrupt. Hey, I am talking to Big brother right now." But Carol presses on, "Big brother GAMS wants to nap with me, right?" Having had enough of their bickering, Gams abruptly stands up and starts to walk away. Both girls call out after him in confusion, "Wait, Big brother, where are you going?" Yoshi chuckles at the familiar scene. "Even though I'm only reading text, I can picture it in my mind. Well, this must be a conversation between Rhodys and Layla then." The next log shows Rhodys grinding herbs as Layla watches. She asks, "What are you making?" Rhodys explains, "Mula-san has been teaching me about antidote mixtures." He continues grinding, admitting, "I can't guarantee the effects just yet though." Rhodys' determination is clear as he thinks back on his training. "I cannot fight on the front lines like Gams-kun or Mula-san, so I wondered whether I could help everyone out some other way." Touched by his words, Layla approaches him from behind. She wraps her arms around him in a warm hug, exclaiming, "Honey, you are a super reliable man." Rhodys is flustered but happy. Yoshi smiles, feeling proud of his villagers. Everyone bears uncertainty towards the evil god's temptation, but they live optimistically every day, don't they? Next is. He scrolls further down the log, but his smile vanishes. His hand tightens on the mouse as he reads the next entry. What's this? On the screen is a chat log he doesn't recognize. What is this chat? The conversation is between two unknown speakers, their names hidden. One asks, "Who is the other party?" The other replies, "I have no doubt that they are ordinary refugees. There has yet to be any suspicious activity from them. There does not appear to be much risk as well. Yes, I shall return after a little more observation." Yoshi realizes their names are hidden because they aren't villagers. The conversation takes a dark turn. Even if we do not make a move, they may perish from the evil god's temptation. Even in the past, the humans who resided here and the filthy dwarves were annihilated. The second speaker voices a single major issue. The only concern is, they are Being blessed by the god of fate. Yoshi's blood runs cold as he stares at the screen, the words hitting far too close to home. The log continues over a dramatic image of a figure in a storm. If we were to make a move, we risk incurring the god's wrath. Yoshi is in utter shock. No way, so you were a spy. The first speaker agrees with the cautious approach. Thus, as I mentioned not long ago as well, I believe we should observe, not act. Yes, understood, the second speaker concedes. Their final message is a chilling threat. For those who have set foot on our holy land, we shall give them nature's judgment. And in that horrifying moment, Yoshi realizes who the spy is. The one observing his villagers, the one calling them invaders, is Mulus. Staring at his monitor, Yoshi's discovery sends a jolt through him. Mulus, so you were a spy. He reflects on the recent events. I thought he would be a reliable doctor, but then this happened, huh? I can now understand why he was treated as a guest character instead of an ally, but... Yoshi pieces it together. Mulus is part of a local tribe, cautiously observing the villagers who have settled in his forest. However, Mulus knows the villagers are under the protection of a higher power, the god of fate, which is Yoshi himself. A small sense of relief washes over Yoshi. It seems that the setting of them being protected by the god of fate has helped. He cracks a slight, proud smile. I guess my existence can be of some contribution to the villagers then, that point kind of makes me happy. But a new problem arises. Without Mulus's help, Gams is the only one strong enough to fight the monsters during the upcoming evil god's temptation. What should I do? Yoshi glances at the time. Well, it's getting late for now, so I will give a prophecy tomorrow as soon as I get up. He formulates a plan. I'll need to give a warning that hints towards my awareness of Mulus's true identity so that he changes his mind and doesn't try anything strange. The next day, in the world of the game. The sun shines down on the humble village. The villagers have gathered for a meal. Everyone is present, including the watchful Mulus. He eats quietly, observing the others. Back in his room, Yoshi sees the perfect opportunity. All right, it seems everyone has gathered. With a decisive click, he sends his divine message. Suddenly, a divine light emanates from the offering box, startling the villagers. Kem the Oracle quickly understands. MMGH, everyone, we have today's prophecy. Sorry to interrupt you while you're eating. She opens her book, her tone serious. But this is an emergency. Well then, you may bear concerns towards the evil god's temptation at the end of the month, but please bear with it somehow. The prophecy continues, offering a glimmer of hope. I will invoke my miraculous powers to assist you a little as well. Gams and the others listen intently. Do not forget that you are under my divine protection. Then comes the final, pointed message, delivered as the scene focuses on Mulus. Should anyone pose a danger to you, they will incur the god of fate's judgment. The words hit their mark. Mulus flinches as the very stone wall behind him cracks under the divine pressure. Kem notices his reaction. Mulus-san, is something the matter? He repeats the god's words in his mind, a cold sweat on his brow. You must never forget, that is what he said. He forces a strained smile, trying to play it off. And no, nothing. Watching from his screen, Yoshi smirks. The message was received loud and clear. It seems that Mulus truly fears the god of fate's power. Gams, ever the pragmatist, rallies the group. With God's assistance, we may be able to get through this somehow. However, we should still do what we can. God despises the idle. Rhodey sighs. Gams, those words pierce me, so stop. Yoshi feels a sense of accomplishment. Anyhow, I think I've managed to stop Mulus from unnecessary interference now. With the spy neutralized, he turns to the next issue, their lack of firepower. His cursor hovers over a promising option, Golem. His imagination runs wild at the thought of a golem he can control fighting alongside Gams. I'm getting hyped now. But his excitement is tempered by reality. He needs more fate points to make it happen, and with only 350, he'll have to work for another week to afford it. And so, it's back to his part-time cleaning job. The day begins. In the work van, his coworker is cheerful. Let's get along nicely, Tilda, his manager agrees, yeah. Yoshi looks around, noticing someone's absence. Where's Yamamoto-san? His coworker explains, yeah, Yamamoto-kun is not feeling well, so he said he would take the day off today. Yoshi nods, is that so? The manager turns to him. That's why the three of us will be working today. We'll be cleaning a store that's smaller than the usual, so it shouldn't take that much time. Yoshi buckles his seatbelt, feeling a bit of pressure. Gee, got it. As they drive off, the manager adds, man, Yoshio-kun is seriously a lifesaver for coming with us. I'll be counting on you. The day passes quickly. Evening falls. The streetlights flicker on as Yoshi heads home. He walks through the door. I'm home, Tilda. In the kitchen, his mother greets him while his father quietly reads, Oh my, welcome home. Geez, if you were going to be back at this time, at least give me a heads up. We could have eaten together, she says, though not unkindly. No, it's fine, he replies. Yoshi explains, plus, the finishing time varies. Today's job started in the evening, so I managed to return quickly. Is that so? That's too bad, she says, but her expression quickly changes. You must be hungry. I'll reheat something for you right now. As his mother hums happily while preparing his food, Yoshi can't help but notice. She's in an awfully good mood today, isn't she? He feels a bead of sweat. He glances at his father. If I ask Dad, I'll find out why Mom is in a good mood, but... The silence at the table feels heavy. His own insecurity holds him back. Even though I could just ask, I can't bring myself to speak. It isn't that easy to get rid of your lack of confidence, is it? He steels himself. Still, I gotta thank him for the job as well, so I'll just bite the bullet. But just as he's about to speak, his mother places a plate in front of him. Food's ready, his courage vanishes. Dad. He looks down, defeated. Let's just eat. The three of them sit in a familiar, awkward silence. But his mother's beaming smile is impossible to ignore. Yoshi feels the pressure mounting. She's giving off this massive aura like she wants me to ask what happened. Finally he breaks. Mom, what happened? She giggles, thrilled. Fufu, you want to know? Oh, what should I do? She leans in conspiratorially. The truth is, today, you're Dad. But before she can finish, his father lets out a sharp ahem. His parents quickly change the subject to a TV show, leaving Yoshi utterly bewildered. That just now simply looked like Dad got flustered. What happened? Later that night, Yoshi is back at his sanctuary. He takes a long drink, exhausted. Phew, work didn't last long, but I'm totally beat today, huh? He figures, being told by my boss that he'd be counting on me must have got me a bit too enthusiastic. He lets out a massive yawn. If I were to dive into my futon like this, I'm sure I'd fall asleep instantly. But I gotta check in on the villagers at least once. He logs in and sees that little Carol is already fast asleep. Gams and Kem appear to be turning in for the night as well. He pans over to Rhodys and his wife. They're sharing a tender moment. Yoshi smiles. Well, yeah, they are still young after all, I'll let them have their privacy. His gaze then shifts, looking for one person in particular. He finds Mulus, lying awake in the cave. I thought he would ditch the villagers and disappear, but he's still staying in the cave. Yoshi wonders, what is he thinking? Maybe he's planning to observe and see whether the villagers will leave before the evil god's temptation. The villagers probably feel safer with him around, so I can't force him away right now. Let's just watch him carefully. The hours tick by, and it's now almost 3 a.m. Yoshi can barely keep his eyes open. Not good, I might as well just go to sleep then. But just as he's about to log off, something on the screen catches his attention, snapping him awake. What's this? A new, strange icon has appeared over the village gate. It's the kanji for real, surrounded by a square. At his desk, Yoshi stares at his monitor, recalling the strange dream feature he'd used before. When I clicked that, I saw Gams's dream. Maybe this is another secret element. A new button appears, real, he's exhausted. My fatigue's at its limit, I'll just check this out and then go to sleep. With a click, he dives in. Just as he thought, the screen flickers and changes, displaying a modern house at night. Yoshi leans in, intrigued by the new interface. The view pans over a quiet suburban home. Looks like a pretty normal house, he thinks. His hand moves to the mouse, scrolling the wheel. Oh, I can zoom in and look around, just like in the game. He explores the digital space, moving through the entrance. Down the hall. Past the bathroom. And into the kitchen, but then a thought stops him cold. Wait a second. A jolt of shock runs through him. This room layout, it's not just familiar, this is MY house. He clutches his head, his mind reeling. My brain can't process this. Panicked, he fumbles with the mouse. How do I get back to the game screen? But the view keeps moving, zooming into the bathroom. There's someone in there. The camera pushes closer, focusing on the figure in the shower. The person turns and Yoshi's heart stops. It's his sister, Sayuki. Sayuki, he gasps as she sighs, man, I'm dead tired, and my skin feels so rough lately. She looks down, sighing again. Just a little more, please get bigger. She thinks to herself, I've been doing my exercises every day, haven't I? Yoshi recoils from the screen, a cold sweat breaking out. If this was real, if Sayuki found out I was peeping, she would absolutely murder me. Then a wave of relief washes over him as he leans back in his chair, a knowing smile spreading across his face. I get it now, this has to be a dream. I must have fallen asleep playing Village of Fate, that's the only explanation. Now comfortable in his dream, he explores further, moving the camera to the living room where his parents are sitting on the sofa. Dad and Mom are here too, huh? Well, if I'm dreaming, I guess it's okay to eavesdrop a little. His father looks uncomfortable. Mom, stop trying to bring it up in front of our son. But his mother is beaming, showing off a gift box. Dad gave me a wedding anniversary present for the first time in 10 years, I'm allowed to brag a little. She smiles warmly, there's no issue with that, is there? Watching from his room, Yoshi is taken aback. So today was their wedding anniversary, I had no idea. It's good that they're getting along, he thinks, but it's still kind of embarrassing to see it firsthand. The The mood suddenly shifts. His father looks down, his voice heavy. If you're pleased, then I'm honored, and I'm sorry. For the past 10 years I've been constantly out of it. Yoshi's casual expression fades, replaced by a serious focus. His mother's smile softens. You stopped smiling ever since that day, haven't you? She looks at him with knowing eyes. That worry, it's about Yashio, right? His father's lips form a tight line. Yeah, he says quietly, that's right. Yoshi stares at the screen, the words hitting him hard. I see, he thinks, his own heart aching. Even in a dream, hearing that from my father feels like a thorn in my heart. A memory surfaces, a happy family photo from years ago. Thinking back, before I became a NEET, he was a much calmer person. He remembers his father's easy smile. He was always quiet, but he put his all into everything. I remember he got so into a father-son relay race once that he pulled a muscle. More memories return, his father patiently helping him with difficult homework. His father secretly giving him ice cream after his mom had scolded him. His father staying by his side, comforting him until he stopped crying. Why did I forget all these treasured moments? He realizes with a sickening feeling, all this time I thought my father was just a strict, cold person. I was just telling myself that. The truth crashes down on him. I didn't want to accept that it was my fault our family turned sour, so I twisted my own memories to fit my narrative. Even as I continued being a NEET, those biased memories got buried deep inside me. Yoshi hangs his head, his fists clenched in regret on his desk. Back in the dream, his mother's face brightens. Now that he has a job, Yashio looks so much brighter, doesn't he? His father agrees, yeah, I'm truly relieved. Then his father says something that stuns Yoshi. I've always wanted to apologize to Yashio since that day. Yoshi stares, confused. Father wants to apologize to me, but why? I'm the one who should be apologizing. His mother nods grimly. You're talking about the argument back then. I've never forgotten what you said that day. Yoshi's eyes widen in recollection. A painful memory flashes back, his father yelling at him in the kitchen. I shouted at him, you're not putting in enough effort. Anyone can find a job as long as they're serious about it. Yoshi winces. Those words, they really hit me hard, especially since I thought I was trying my best. His mother chuckles softly. That was a bit much. After all, back in your university days, you were what they call a chill guy, a party-goer even. His father looks away, ashamed. I kept fooling around in school and my grades barely made it. Yoshi can't believe it. An image of a young, ridiculously dressed version of his dad appears. A chill guy, that's the complete opposite of him. Even for a dream, this is insane. His father continues his confession. If the me from back then were here now, I would have ended up far worse than Yashio. The economy was booming back then. Companies were practically begging us to work for them. Yashio was a more diligent student than I ever was, and he tried his best to find a job. And yet, someone like me who just fooled around, I overlooked my own faults and patronized him. The weight of his father's regret hangs in the air. I had no right to say such things. Yoshi's world is tilting on its axis. I tried to be a father, his dad says, his voice cracking, but I lived carrying a burden greater than I could handle. I thought I'd become some upstanding person, and then I preached to him without any regard for my own past. I'm a terrible person. Yoshi can only whisper, Dad. His father's confession goes deeper. You see, my own mother would force me to study, telling me I couldn't become a proper man otherwise. I couldn't stand it. So I swore I'd never bother my own kids about studying. I thought I'd kept that promise. But I haven't changed at all, I'm just like her. From his own room, Yoshi cries out, wrong. Tears stream down his face as the raw emotion pours out of him. You're wrong, Dad. Even if you were like that in school, you were the one I always looked up to. The only reason I was so serious was because I was desperately trying to catch up to you, my diligent father who put his all into everything. In the dream, his mother gently takes his father's hand. Dad, you've been wonderful both now and in the past. However, maybe it's time to release some of that tension from your shoulders. We may have grown children, but parents are just older people with a little more experience. Becoming a parent doesn't automatically make you perfect. His father listens, the lines on his face softening. He takes off his glasses, rubbing his tired eyes. When I was a kid, I thought adults and parents were these amazing, respectable people. His mother smiles. I thought so too, so let's just agree that we're both still growing. Her words resonate deep within Yoshi's soul. Like how Yashio is trying his best to change, we simply need to change from here on as well. As his parents hold hands, finding solace in each other. Yoshi is completely broken, sobbing uncontrollably at his desk. He wipes away the tears, a bittersweet smile forming. Even though I know this is a dream, I'm glad. My parents see adults the same way I do. They weren't perfect, they were worried and burdened just like me. Knowing that, the weight on my heart feels so much lighter now. As the sun rises over the quiet neighborhood, Yoshi slowly wakes up, his head resting on his keyboard. He groans, lifting his head. His eyes fall on the monitor. The screen is back to the village of fate. A gentle, genuine smile spreads across his face. I knew it. He stands up, feeling a profound sense of peace. That dream was definitely catered just for me, he thinks as he walks down the stairs, but I don't feel bad about it. A new resolve fills him. Starting today, I feel like I can finally talk to my parents honestly. He reaches for the kitchen door handle. Inside, his entire family is gathered for breakfast. His mother turns, her face lighting up as she sees him. Good morning. November 30th. A figure sprints through the deserted streets, his breath ragged in the cold night air. This is Yoshi, and he's running late. He glances at his watch, his heart pounding in his chest. The time reads 1:32 a.m. Ah, the day of the evil god's temptation, he gasps. Damn it. Why, how did it end up like this? To understand, we have to go back 2 days, to November 28th. Here we find Yoshi in his element, glued to his computer screen, meticulously observing the world of his favorite game. I'll have to watch them carefully until it's time for work, he thinks, his focus absolute. Inside the game, the villagers are in full prep mode, gathering supplies and food. Yoshi watches them intently. Everyone seems to be steadily getting prepared for the evil god's temptation. He zooms in on their handiwork, noting their improved defenses. They've rebuilt the fence to remove any gaps, and this, a newly installed watchtower. It's simple, but from his perch on that very tower, the archer Mulus keeps a vigilant watch. Suddenly, a shadow emerges from the tree line. A massive, snarling wolf, its fangs dripping, has wandered too close to the village. The beast stalks through the underbrush, completely unaware it's being watched. Yoshi's eyes are locked on the screen, anticipating the next move. Mulus doesn't hesitate. He draws his bow, the string creaking with tension, and lets an arrow fly with deadly precision. A perfect shot, the wolf drops dead instantly. Yoshi thinks it's a perfect match for Mulus's bow, though. Down below, Gams watches the exchange with a quiet, unreadable expression. But Rhodys is more vocal, shouting up his gratitude. Thanks, Mulus-san. Yoshi starts strategizing, knowing Mulus isn't a permanent fixture in the village. He's still staying at the cave for now, but I can't imagine he plans to stick around for the raid. I bet he'll use the chaos of the monster attack to make his escape. For Yoshi, this isn't just any event. This is the first major raid he'll experience in this game. In a normal game, this would be a simple tutorial with a lower difficulty. But this game, the Village of Fate, isn't ordinary, is it? He knows it's a hardcore game where failure is not an option. That's why he's relieved to see the villagers taking it so seriously, eagerly reinforcing their defenses. The stakes are intensely personal for Yoshi. He remembers his past life as a shut-in, a listless existence he fought hard to escape. He clenches his jaw, the memory fueling his determination. That cannot happen. This game has helped him get his life back on track, even reconnecting with his family. The growth of the village is one thing, but I don't want to let the progress I'm making in my life slip either. He refocuses on the screen, a plan forming in his mind. He checks his current resources. I have 540 points right now. With the wages from my part-time job, I'll soon have enough to perform the golem summoning that costs 700 points. It's the perfect backup plan for when Mulus inevitably leaves the villagers to fend for themselves. And the best part, the fact that I can control it myself is the biggest factor. I'm not trying to boast, Yoshi thinks with a smirk, but after grinding games for over a decade, I'm confident I can handle any controls. He glances at his calendar. The 30th is circled, the day of the raid. My work for this month will be over late in the night today. I'll be preparing for the evil god's temptation tomorrow, so I must diligently get ready. Meanwhile, back in the Village of Fate, the day wears on. Gams sits and sharpens his blade for the coming battle. Little Carol approaches him timidly. Big brother Gams. Kem tugs on his arm, her voice filled with worry. Will we be all right during the evil god's whatever it was? Gams offers a reassuring smile. We've reinforced the defenses so that even if monsters do show up, we will be fine, don't worry. Carol hugs Gams, but a dark aura suddenly appears behind them. It's Layla. And if it really comes down to it, protect me, big brother, she coos, shoving Carol aside. I keep telling you he is not your big brother, he is mine. As Layla seethes, Kem just whispers to herself, stepsister is scary. But Layla quickly drops the act, her expression turning serious. Anyway, let's return to the main topic. Will we be able to weather this in our current state? There is the incident of our previous village to consider, after all. The heavy question hangs in the air, silencing the small group. Mulus, who had been listening quietly, finally speaks up. I have mentioned this several times in the past, but this place is called the Forbidden Forest. It is home to many different species of monsters and is considerably dangerous. I too try to stay away on the day of the evil god's temptation, so frankly, in terms of what may happen, I am sorry. Layla is quick to reassure him. No, it is more than enough that you are lending your strength to us like this. Mulus-san has truly been a great help. Watching this, Yoshi thinks, I too would have admired him as a kind and reliable doctor if I hadn't known anything about him. but it is truly unfortunate. Gams then points out their biggest problem. Even if we choose to leave, the wagon's wheels are at their breaking point, and we don't have any skill in repairing wagons. Plus, it's impossible to leave the forest on foot. Mulus nods grimly. If I were alone, or if I were together with Gams-san, then it could be possible for us to leave the forest. He looks at the others, his expression pained. However, if the others were to be with us, I would not be confident. Hearing this, Gams stands tall, his resolve hardening. Then we will stave them off here somehow, he roars. That is our only chance to live. I'll be putting in everything I've got, so let us all survive together. His passionate speech ignites their spirits. Carol lets out a cheer, her fear replaced by determination. Only Mulus remains silent, his expression unreadable. From his screen, Yoshi smiles. Gams, you truly are a reliable man.